Welcome back to Pro Wrestling Throwdown for the week of May 16th, 2021. I'm Caleb Black. This is Luke the Big Dog Williams, along with our in-studio producer, the mighty Max Fury. And this is our special look into the life, the career, and the unfortunate passing of one Jerome Young, a.k.a. motherfucking New Jack. Born on January 3rd, 1963 in Greensboro, North Carolina, making his way into the professional wrestling industry under the guise of New Jack after having a career as a bounty hunter. One of the most real and most controversial figures in the history of professional wrestling, a pioneer in ECW. Obviously, everyone knows about the mass transit incident, which we're going to get into, but considering this hits us so close to home in many of our social facets as far as our professional wrestling, he's one of the Anna Underground alumni, having been part of one of our shows.
The inaugural.
He was a member of a particular Facebook group that I'm not going to plug, just because I don't want it to get mired with nonsense. But he's one of the boys, and so let's talk a little bit about New Jack, baby.
Well, New Jack was trained by Ray Candy, which was infamously known on the indie circuit for around the 91 to 94 era of professional wrestling, which, looking at the way New Jack is presented, you wouldn't think that the man could actually wrestle.
Yeah, but
New Jack could work.
Absolutely could. 100%.
Made his debut in 1992, which at that time in professional wrestling, being a man of color didn't help your career much.
No, not at all.
Especially when you look at the fact that he started his career down around the Georgia territories and the North Carolina
right on the tail end of the territories at that.
But he had himself probably one of the toughest climbs to make until Smoky Mountain.
Until one James E. Cornette took him and Mustafa and made them the gangsters.
I mean, he gave them the name. They were gangsters.
They were gangsters when they walked through the fucking door.
But it got so live, the promos that they would that promotions, not so much the promoter, but the buildings.
Yeah. And
the mayors in these towns were like, we don't want them booked on our show. They elicit that kind of heat.
Yeah.
And that kind of heat nowadays for nowadays professional wrestling fans
is bad.
They don't understand it.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't heat like you're going to go out there and you're going to make them not like you.
Right.
New Jack went out there and basically just said what was on his mind.
Yeah. Want to talk about, we often talk about great promo guys in the wrestling business. New Jack was so realistically intense and a very good talker. Obviously, later on in his life, with the drug issues, the multiple concussions, yada, 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 his speech started to change. But go back and watch some of his Smoky Mountain and ECW promos.
Yeah.
He could talk. And you believed what he was saying because he didn't talk to you like he was cutting a wrestling promo. He wasn't at the table, let me tell you something, brother.
Yeah.
At the Georgia Dome, brother. No, he was as real and as intense as you could possibly get. And that's a factor that not only is missing today, but wasn't even that common then.
No. And he's one of those guys that it was like, okay, well, we need a step here. We need something to fill in between here and here, especially in ECW.
Yeah.
Anytime that you were watching ECW, you always had that, when's that music going to hit?
Right.
Because you knew when New Jack's music hit, shit was about to get real, it was about to get violent, and you knew that those were the best parts of the show.
Yeah.
His matches alone, teamed with Spike Dudley against the Dudley Boys, circa 97, 98, stand the test of time today.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for people like New Jack, the deathmatch era, the hardcore era that we know now and that we are fond of, it wouldn't have taken off. Yeah. He was the branch between Japan and the States when it come to, well, I'm just going to bring in a guitar and light you on fire and stab you 12 times if you're,
and managed to do it in a way that was
your mouth. You know what I mean?
Managed to do it in a way that was innovative here. Even at that time, during the periods of hardcore wrestling, not a lot of guys were throwing themselves off of, 10-foot climbs or 20-foot climbs through tables.
And that's the thing. Mick Foley gets that being thrown off the cell. New Jack was doing that nightly. was throwing himself off of second, third story balconies nightly.
It's coming in hot, baby.
Yeah,
coming in real hot.
And of course, we'd be remiss not to talk about the time he tried to kill Jack Victory. It was Jack Victory throwing him off the scaffold, trying to throw him out of the ring.
Jack, I can't feel my legs. That's okay. You don't need them. And okey-doked his ass.
Yeah, he did.
Twice.
He had that coming.
Yeah.
But the point is that while yes, ultra violent.
Yes.
It was entertaining. It told a story. And that's what a lot of wrestling misses nowadays.
Yeah.
New Jack was one of the pioneers of hardcore wrestling.
He was.
And now that he's gone, there's a void that's missing.
Well, it's like we talk about the promotion that we do commentary for, Anafied Underground, all the time. So far, we've had ECW Originals featured. We've had CZW Pioneers featured. We'd have Japanese Deathmatch Wrestling Legends featured. And while, understandably, Deathmatch Wrestling may not be your thing, that's our audience, that's our market, that's our family.
Yeah.
And New Jack was a part of that, and it really, it goes full circle. If he hadn't been for him, we wouldn't be doing this job now.
Correct.
And if it hadn't been for his appearance at that show, we got that, hey man, Grandpa's watching you build this house, and he was a carpenter for 25 years, and he's patting you on the shoulder saying,
New Jack gave us all the rub.
Yeah.
And he didn't have to.
Obviously, he lived a life not without controversy, addiction problems, familial issues, estranged children for various reasons. We understand that. We don't want to. That's not why we're making this video. Everybody has their grievances, their opinions. We want to highlight his contributions to what we do and the life and times of motherfucking New Jack, baby.
I mean, like I said, in ECW, he was one of the main reasons why I even tuned in.
Oh, yeah.
As well as there was a lot of shitty things that took place with XPW. New Jack wasn't one of them.
I agree.
He was always enjoyable to watch. It was always interesting. Yeah. You knew you were going to get your money's worth if he was on the ticket.
And for anyone who says, well, he couldn't really wrestle, he made the PWI 500 in the 90s.
97, he was at 101.
101. And that, okay, I am the first guy who always talks about how Meltzer's off his rocker. In 97, he wasn't.
No.
So for New Jack to break not only the 500, but the bottom half of the 500 and the top 20th percentile, that means you can wrestle.
Well, and then you turn around and in 2003, several years later, broke the 500 again.
Yeah, 386?
398.
398.
I mean, you can't discredit anything that the man does. I've watched matches where it's all weapons, all hardcore. I've watched him put headlocks and wrist locks.
Watch some of the matches he had with Scorpio Sky.
For sure.
Or not Scorpio Sky. Scorpio. They were not hardcore. They were wrestling matches. The motherfucker could wrestle, y'all. Mass Transit.
Dude asked to get some color. New Jack got him color. That's all we really
cut him like a pizza.
There.
Yeah, Dark Side of the Ring did a fantastic episode on New Jack in season 2.
Yeah,
we highly recommend. If you're not familiar with his work and you're interested in learning more about him, you'll get firsthand accounts from guys who knew him, guys who worked with him, guys who were there during some of those insane periods of time, and on-hand commentary from New Jack himself,
which is the best way. You get to hear it straight from the man's mouth.
Yeah.
Also, would like to thank Paul Heyman and the WWE for the tribute on Talking Smack this week.
Very classic.
You could tell that Paul Heyman had been crying. His eyes are red and puffy. It meant a lot, which means thank you, Vince McMahon, for allowing Paul Heyman to be able to use your platform to pay tribute to somebody who deserved to have tribute paid to them.
Yep. Check out some of his online merchandise. His wife is trying to organize funds for his services and stuff.
There is a GoFundMe.
If you're interested in, contributing, please check those out. Especially like we see a lot of people who are with the cameos and stuff because New Jack was selling cameos. If you're interested in buying a cameo from New Jack, please give that money. And I don't think rest in peace is appropriate.
All I'm saying is Mass Transit, you thought you got away, but you still got one coming, sir.
He's up on that ass.
If you hear that Natural Born Killer's theme song, take fucking cover, bro, because that's your ass. Period.
The only way I feel comfortable closing this video, I'll do the plugs now.
Yeah.
Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/Pro Wrestling Throwdown. Follow us on Twitter at Pro Wrestling TD. Send us an email at ProWrestlingThrowdown@gmail.com. And for New Jack, you and OJ got away with it, baby.
They did.
As always,
they did.
Keep it in the ring.